It's time for Dodger baseball. It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Good morning, Dodgers Nation, or good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose a wild one to the Tampa Bay Rays by a final score of 11-10. It was an insane game. This game felt like it was drunk on brunch, mimosas, or something, because this game was just out of something just pretty incredible as far as an offensive firepower, offensive fireworks show. And if you look at this Dodgers team, they finished the road trip going 4-6, under 500, and the Dodgers hit, count them, 5 home runs. The Dodgers went deep 5 times today. Chris Taylor had a 2-home run game. Max Muncie had a bomb in the second. Trace Thompson, we'll talk about. He came back from the dead today. He was like the Undertaker coming out of the coffin meme. He comes out and he has a good game, 3 for 3 and a walk. He hits a bomb there in the 5th inning, and then Chris Taylor hits another home run. J.D. Martinez hit a home run. So 5 home runs for the Dodgers. They went back-to-back twice and still lost. The Dodgers had been 35-1 when they hit 5+ home runs or more since 2004, but they fall to the Rays. They lose 2 out of 3 from the Rays in this series. They finished the road trip going 4 of 6, losing 3 of 4 to the Cardinals. They taken 2 out of 3 against the Braves, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Rays. So depending on how you look at it, I mean, you could have split. You could have gone 500 with a win today, and considering how poor the pitching has been, when you look at the length that they've given them, you would have probably felt okay about that, especially considering the competition. But, yeah, definitely a lot to unpack in this game. We're going to break it all down. But first things first, what are your big takeaways from today's game? What are your big takeaways from this series and the road trip? We're going to get into it, so let us know down below. And here we go. Jump into the comment section. Tough loss from Angie Macias Debaca. We got the Dodgers need better pitchers. That's from Jonathan Robles. We got go home limping. That's from Pound for Pound. Yeah, before we get into it, yeah, we're going to break down Gavin Stone's entire outing. I have some thoughts on that. He doesn't appear that he's ready for this stage, for the bright lights of the show, especially when you consider the competition. I mean, you got to feel for the guy, and I'm not making excuses for the guy at all. You have to go out there and execute if they give you the ball in these situations, but that is a very difficult, tough 3 lineups to face for the start of your big league career. You got the Phillies at home, you got the Braves on the road, you got the Rays on the road. So definitely an unenviable situation for Gavin Stone, but he does not look ready. I think you got to put him back in that microwave. Little cold right now. Take him out a little early and really kind of put him in there and allow him to cook a little more and see if he can get things right, because the fastball command just isn't there. The secondary pitches, other than the changeup, just aren't there. Nice to see him get some more swing and miss today. Nice to see him get some punch outs via that changeup, but yeah, his stuff isn't good enough to get away with the mistakes at this level. So we're going to talk about his outing. But yeah, this Dodger team, the reason why they lost, the number one reason why they lost today, of course, the bullpen, they mashed on Fleming, and thanks for Kevin Cash for leaving out there like he did. But really, they hit those 5 home runs, but they go 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They had multiple opportunities to cash in. You had errors that didn't cash in, walks that didn't cash in. Mookie Betts goes over 2 with runners in scoring position. You compare that to that Rays team, they go 8 for 17. This Rays team, they're relentless. This is a very tough lineup to navigate. It's like they have 9 Pablo Sanchez's from backyard baseball, and they were out there and they were raking, and yeah, they're making it very difficult on this Dodgers pitching staff. But CT3 woke up. That's from BC over on YouTube. Yeah, he's my Dodger dog of the day.
Dodger dog of the game.
You got to give Chris Taylor tons of credit. He really kept the Dodgers in this one, and CT3, he looked good. I mean, you saw him taking advantage of changeups. It was aggressive early in the count. And Chris Taylor, he definitely stepped up in a big way. I think defensively, there were some plays where, yeah, they weren't rolled as errors that he probably would have liked to have back. But, yeah, Chris Taylor, what more can you say? I mean, so bad luck, too. I mean, the play that bounced in front of him on that silly field turf that led to a run, I think that was unfortunate. But Chris Taylor, he goes 3 for 3, 2 RBI, had 2 home runs, 2 walks. Really, his best game of the year, period, end of story. So hopefully that really gets him going. He's been more productive this year, so that's definitely a good sight to see. And of course, we have to talk about Thompson. He goes 3 for 3, had 2 RBI, and a walk himself. So Thompson, he definitely, I don't know if just the light kind of turned on for him and things starting to click. I mean, we're going to break down his at-bats, but definitely you love to see that. I'm telling you, he's the Undertaker coming out of the coffin. Thompson, welcome back to the show. But I guess this means, okay, a 3-hit day and a walk. So that means that we can expect another hit from him on the pace that he's been going at basically in a month and a half. So I think he bought himself an extra month in the show, but still, I think if you look at the pace he's been on, hopefully he's going to be okay. We got is Muncie okay? That is from Joey Akers. Yeah, I think Muncie's going to be okay. He left the game in the 3rd inning. The Dodgers, they tweet out that it was a left hamstring strain, so I don't anticipate it's going to be serious or anything like that. But Max Muncie, he was the hero in yesterday's game. He hit the big home run. He had 2 RBI. Today, Muncie, he goes 1 for 2 and had a home run there with Chris Taylor in the 2nd inning. So, yeah, definitely some positive developments for Max Muncie in the last 2 games. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. But, I mean, this lineup, 16 hits for the Rays, 12 for the Dodgers, 2 errors by the Rays, and the Dodgers, they just could not win. I mean, they lose by a final score of 11-10 despite hitting 5 home runs. So let's jump back into the comment section. Outman is turning into Cody Bellinger 2022, a human fan. Yeah, James Outman is lost at the plate. James Outman is not seeing it well. James Outman is not being decisive. He comes into the game and he ends up getting 3 strikeouts. So 3 strikeouts for James Outman. He did not look good at all. And he is a guy that at the moment, he's just not decisive. And I think what you're seeing from James is, if you look at the slump that he's having, we saw the adjustment they were making against him. You're seeing a lot of fastballs up in the zone. But right today, I mean, he had pitches that we saw him taking deep. We saw him hitting home runs, and him hitting some of these pitches that he saw today for extra bases earlier in the year. Today, he's taking those pitches. So he looks very undecisive at the plate, looks a little lost. He's not as aggressive as he once was. And he's over his last 18 with 3 punch-outs. So, yeah, he definitely is looking lost at the plate right now. And it's interesting how Major League Baseball plays. It's very interesting what happens in the show. One man gets hot, another man starts slumping. Miguel Vargas got out to a slow start in April, and he's been much hotter and a much better player than month of May, and really the tables have turned with Outman and Miguel Vargas. Same thing goes with Thompson. He was slumping, and he had a good day today. I will say with Thompson, it takes more than 1 game to get out of a slump. It takes more than 1 game to get in a slump, so I'm not going to rush to judgment on this one. I'm going to take today's performance with a grain of salt, but you'd have to feel really good for the guy. You saw, like Oral Hershiser said, getting that ape off his back and really just settling down and taking a deep breath, because you could see the frustration in his eyes. You could see him starting to question mentally, do I belong in the show? Am I a big leaguer? Are my days going to be numbered? Am I going to get that call to get DFA'd and kind of walk the plank there? So, yeah, definitely feel good for him, but still, the big story today is Gavin Stone. We're going to start there, but let's do some more comments before we do. But, yeah, I mean, James Outman, what more can you say? He definitely needs to turn things around, make those adjustments. And I want to see James Outman go out there, and you don't have to go try to hit 300. You don't have to go out there and try to be a guy that is going to hit for average. I don't think anyone is expecting that from James Outman. We're expecting a guy that can go up there and hit for pop, hit for extra bases. And if you see a pitch that you can drive, a pitch that you can hit, you have to be aggressive. And we're just not seeing that from him. And the average is starting to drop. It's down to 235 now. And, yeah, I mean, he's the one who came in. He replaced Max Muncie when they moved some things around, and he went into center field. But, yeah, I mean, he was expecting to play today, but still, He did not look good at the plate once again. So, yeah, we're going to have to monitor that, and hopefully he can break out of that slump. And that's really what separates big leaguers and minor leaguers. I mean, Max Muncie definitely went through a rough stretch, and he was ill. I think the sickness that he was dealing with definitely was impacting him. I don't think there's any question about that at this point. And he had a stretch where he was 2 for 27 with runners in scoring position, was under the Mendoza line at one point. But he's a guy that has hit rock bottom in this league, only to claw and scratch his way out. You haven't seen that from James Outman. And if you look at the at-bat in the fourth inning, he strikes out on 3 pitches, a sinker on the inner half, and he's just missing badly. And the first pitch, too, I mean, he took that sinker. That's middle. I mean, he's got to go take off on that pitch and just be a little more aggressive. So, yeah, we'll talk a little more about that. I mean, look at his at-bat in the 8th there. I mean, 4-seam fastball away, swinging. But if you look at the first pitch, that sweeper, that was middle, change up, middle. So he's got to take off on pitches that are in the heart of the plate. I think he had a couple hits here and there, a couple of hard hit balls, and he'll get back on track. But Terry Hesticles, interesting. You got me there. That's a bruh. Trace going to slump next game. Mark my words. We got Nathaniel Nunez. This team is playing without their top 2 pitchers, 3 if you include Buehler, and are still in first place. A healthy Dodgers team will be scary come playoffs. I like that, Nathaniel Nunez. That is my Michelada half-full take of the day. You got to look at the bright side, and that's a fantastic point because all in all, despite going 4-6 on this road trip where you're facing teams like the Cardinals who were hot, the Braves who had the second best lineup in baseball, and the Rays have the best lineup in baseball when you look at offensive production, and still they're in first place in the NL West ahead of the Diamondbacks by 2.5 games, and they still have the best record in the National League, currently at 32-21. So no one expected the Dodgers to have the best record in the National League. Everyone out there picked the Padres and the Braves and all these other teams. I still pick the Dodgers, but still, I think when you look at it from that perspective, I think it's a great point. But still, I think you look moving forward and you look at this rotation. Clayton Kershaw yesterday, he was able to go 5 innings, was getting swing and miss early, but kind of lost command towards the latter half of that start. Noah Syndergaard, he ends up going 6 innings in his start, but he's a guy that just struggles to put up zeros and have clean innings. So, yeah, the starting rotation, there's definitely questions about it. And thankfully, they have Bobby Miller, who looked really strong in his MLB debut against the Braves, and we'll see how he looks tomorrow against the Nationals. But next we got Nando 390, DFA Austin Barnes. Yeah, Austin Barnes, he had some opportunities. Unfortunately, he gets robbed there by Luke Raley in the 5th inning, and, yeah, he just wasn't able to come through. And offensively, he's been pretty awful this season, if we're just going to be frank about it. And Austin Barnes today, he goes 0 for 4 today, and he had some opportunities there with runners in scoring position, and he goes 0 for 2. So, yeah, I mean, when Will Smith is out of the game, you probably feel pretty good about the fact you plated 10 runs, but it was not enough, and that's because of the rocky start by Gavin Stone. So let's dive into that. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and also smash that like button. Even though it is a loss, this is your show. This is how we get through this. We got, I dig that new sidebar graphic. Yes, sir. We got Betts was cheating in 2018. None of his career stats outside of that are anywhere near. Decent player, but no star. Anthony R., you basically just don't know how to consume information then, because he's still a well above league average player. He was last year. He has been this year. He's phenomenal defensively. He had a career high in home runs last season, so I do not know exactly what you are talking about. But, yeah, I mean, obviously 2018 was his best season. And it was the one time he did have an OPS over 1,000 in his career, had that 1,078 OPS. But last year, 866 OPS, had a career high in home runs, hit 35 bombs. This year, 866 OPS, a 131 OPS plus. So still very productive, still a really good player, and I still expect nothing but good things from Mookie Betts. I don't think that he is a Apple Watch or stealing signs merchant like you're trying to say he is. But anyways, we got Victor has to get over to first base. No excuse. That's from Ron Jurica. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I've seen some people blaming this loss on Freddie Freeman, that he didn't charge the ball there, and that Victor Gonzalez Yeah, I mean, of course, if you look at pitchers' fundamentals, you want to get there as quickly as you can. But if you're Freddie Freeman, you are a Gold Glove award-winning first baseman. And if you look at the play there in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Rayleigh reaches there on that infield single to first, yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman, he'll tell you he should have charged that and gone to first base. He could have made that play. Victor Gonzalez, maybe one step quicker, probably makes that play. But still, in that situation, I think Freddie's going to have confidence in his pitcher, but he's got to get over there too. But that's not the reason why they lost. The reason why they lost the game today was because their starting pitcher, in Gavin Stone, he allowed 7 earned runs on 10 hits, had no walks, 3 punch-outs. He needed 57 pitches to get 6 outs, okay? His ERA now in 3 starts is 14.4. Did get 15 swings and misses, did have 3 strikeouts, so that definitely has improved. It was 11 for 16 on first pitch strikes, but just too hittable. Too many pitches out over the plate. Too many misses. Too many non-competitive pitches. And he's going to learn at this level, that's not going to fly. You are not going to get away with that at this level. But listen to Nunez. We got Boomer Assassin. What's the status of Pepe or Grove? So Grove made his minor league rehab start. He, I think, is going to be first in line to take over for Gavin Stone, because it appears that Gavin Stone, like I said, we got to throw him back in the microwave. They took him out, brought him out a little early. Probably got to put him back in. And he has to shore up that fastball command. I think from mechanically, I think from confidence standpoint, if he's not going to work the edges, if he's not going to leave it out over the fat part of the plate, he's going to struggle at this level, because big league hitters, they're going to tee off on some of the pitches that he had today. We got Outman is just swatting flies from Boomer Assassin. Yeah, right now, it's not looking good for James Outman. It definitely is a James Droutman at the moment, and you hope that he can turn things around, and that is going to be the big difference. And what my whole take was, look, James Outman's going to be great, but what I say, even when James Outman was at his very best, I said that Miguel Vargas is going to have the longer career. Miguel Vargas is going to be the guy that's going to play 8, 10, 15 years in this league, and that's because he has those bat-to-ball skills. He has those quick hands, and like my friend Casey Porter was pointing out to me, you see a lot of J.D. Martinez right now in Miguel Vargas. And I can tell you from being at the stadium, during those BP sessions, just being there and seeing J.D. Martinez working with these hitters, you see it too. The way he's working his hands, the way he's getting his hands in, the way he got his hands in on that heater yesterday to hit that home run, that's what you're seeing, and that is what sticks and plays up in this league, is guys that have bat to ball. And I think there's a little boomer bust right now with James Outman. He's definitely struggling and just keeping that bat path through the zone and getting his barrel to the ball. And this is a guy that's reinvented his swing. This is a guy who has said himself that they told him that he was swinging like a caveman, so they definitely broke his swing down just to build it back up. Now the big key is just kind of simplifying things, and I also think too, the swing doesn't look terrible, and I think you've seen a little of adjustment as far as him spreading his feet a little wider in the box and his setup a little bit. But really, to me, it's a mental game. I think for him, his approach at the plate is, if there's pitches to hit, you just have to swing at them. You have to go and put your best swing on pitches, and you don't have to take pitches in the middle of the zone just because you think you're going to have a better at-bat. I think Outman's got to do what he did early in the season when he was just having the green light and teeing off on pitches that he thought he could get to. So I think that's the biggest key for him. But let's start right there in the top of the first inning. We got bottom of the first inning, Gavin Stone on the mound, 2-2 pitch to Diaz. He hits a sharp ground ball to Vargas at second. He makes a nice play. Then first pitch for the first out. Then first pitch to Wander Franco. By the way, Wander Franco, man, this guy is a star. What do you guys think about him? Actually, let's do some more comments and we'll really break things down, because you guys are really lighting it up, and I appreciate that. Send Stone to single A. Okay, Dando 390. That's a little much. We got let Thompson play and sit Outman for a while. That's from Mike Wargo. Yeah, I think that definitely is something that you could see. Absolutely. I think giving Trayce Thompson this momentum and seeing this momentum carries over to the next game, because if it carries over into tomorrow's game and you see him go on a little run, you're going to feel good about that. Also, James Outman, that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot early in the season to really be thrusted into a role where he was an everyday player, and maybe taking a little bit of a step back, taking a breather, making some adjustments. I think that could really help and pay dividends later on in the season. So I'm not against that, but at the same token, if Thompson's struggling again, I think Outman is the guy for the future. And really that to me is one of the most important things for this Dodgers team is figuring out which of these young guys, figuring out which of these rookies are going to be core members of this team. And I think James Outman should be the guy to do that. And you're not going to find out if he can do that and if he's capable of doing that and if he's able to make adjustments if he's cold on the bench. So I'm okay with it for a few games, but if Thompson starts to struggle again, I want to see James Outman back in center field on a regular basis until he figures things out, because I don't think he's that far away. He just lost right now, and he just needs things to click. Like I said, 0 for his last 18. AB needs DFA now. That's from Ron Jerica. We got high DKM. We got Mookie is so unclutch a lot. That's from Michael Carrillo. Michael Carrillo over on YouTube. Now, the funny thing about that is Mookie Betts heading into today is actually hitting 389 with runners in scoring position. That's good for 11th in all of Major League Baseball. So the reality is Mookie has been one of the most clutch players in all of Major League Baseball this season. Just didn't have his best day today. 66 strikeouts and 167 at bats. That is and that's tons of strikeouts. Get Mookie at the leadoff spot. Craig Osterberg. I disagree with that because I still think Mookie, he's been one of the hottest hitters on the Dodgers in the month of May. I mean, if you look at his month of May, he's been, for the most part, extremely productive, and him and Freddie Freeman have been, without question, two of the best hitters in the month of May. So, yeah, I mean, look, they've won a ton of games in this stretch. They go against tough opponents, and really don't point at the lineup. They scored 10 runs today. Point at the pitching, and that's what I tell you was my biggest concern. I saw people out there saying their biggest concern is the bench. Really? How could your biggest concern be the bench when the starting pitching can't go past 5 and 6 innings on a consistent basis? That is your concern, the bench? I mean, yes, the bench is a concern. They need more productivity from the bench, but yeah, without question, the starting pitching, which is middle of the pack right now as from their starters and the relievers, that is the biggest concern. The reason why the Dodgers won 111 games last year was primarily due to the fact that they led across the board in pitching categories, whether it be relievers, whether it be innings pitched, whether it be ERA, FIP, stranded, whatever you want. That is where they excelled. Yes, the lineup was fantastic, and they scored a ton of runs, but still, I mean, it starts and ends with starting pitching and your bullpen. But, yeah, if you look at Mookie Betts so far in the month this season, an 845 OPS, but if you're looking at the month of May for Mookie Betts, he's fared very well. For the month of May, Mookie hitting .915 with 7 home runs and 6 doubles. That's second on the team behind Freddie Freeman. So he has been very productive. But, yeah, what is your biggest concern with this Dodgers team? We got Bigford again. This is from Carl. Gavin Stone doesn't belong at this level. He and Syndergaard need to go. We got Mr. Iggy, Dodgers for life. I'm not mad. I'm not mad, D-Mac. It's just kind of early, man. It's kind of early. I haven't had my Hornitos yet. I haven't had my Hornitos, and that is the comment of the day from Joe Mama. Preach, brother D-Mac. Hornitos. A little too early for Hornitos, or actually, no, it's not. You can have Hornitos morning, afternoon, or at night. Just be sure to drink responsibly. Hey, Memorial Day weekend, get you some Hornitos. And we're going to talk about other big takeaway I have, and that is the base stealing. More base stealing. This Rays team was relentless on the base paths. You saw it on Friday night against Thor and Syndergaard. He's one of the worst in the league at holding runners. They were scoring runs against it. And today you saw on Bigford today, and it just feels like again and again and again, the base runners don't respect the Dodgers pitchers. And I can tell you from people that I've spoke to within this organization that they don't emphasize it enough. They do not go and get to the basics, and they don't teach. I mean, we need to see a little more sidestep. We need to see them changing the cadence. I mean, they're teeing off, and when you get these pitchers not going to the plate and their delivery to the plate is so slow, the opponents are taking advantage. You're seeing that. It almost feels again and again like they are asleep when runners are on base. And for me, when I need a good sleep, you know what I do? I go to Manta Mask. And Manta Mask, they make the world's best sleep masks and sleep accessories. Everything they do is to enable better lives through better sleep. They work relentlessly to improve and optimize sleep so that you can have the energy to live your best life. Check out mantasleep.com today so you can sleep better anywhere, anytime. Get your Manta Mask today. Use the code DN2023. So yeah, you don't want to see these pitchers wearing their Manta Mask on the mound when you have ducks on the pond, and that's definitely an adjustment that they're going to need to make. But here we go. We got DFA Thor, please. That's from YouTube. We got, by the way, if you're spamming the comments, guys, I mean, it's just going to get blocked so easily because, hey, it's Sunday. That's a great day for a block party. We got LOL, does Noah pitch tomorrow? Why he's on everyone's minds from BC. So yeah, let's start right there. So bottom of the first inning, 2-2 to Diaz. He hits a sharp ground ball to Vargas to second. He makes a nice play for the first out. The next pitch to Franco. He singles to left center. The next pitch, low. Wow, first pitch, fastball. He swings and misses. Nice job right there. Fouls off the changeup. Then the 0-2. He gets Lau swinging and missing for strike three, so great arm speed there. Bottom of the zone with the changeup, so that goes for the second out. So you're feeling good about Gavin Stone start right there. And then with Franco at first, 0-2 to Ramirez, he singles to center. So that's the other thing, not doing a good enough job at finishing off hitters. And that's where you need that third pitch. That's where you need that slider to come in handy. And you also need fastball location because that's what's going to set up the slider. That's what's going to set up the changeup with the way he tunnels it, and there's a perfect example there. Ramirez, 0-2 pitch, he singles to center, and then Franco, he advances to third, and then the one pitch to Paredes, he lines a base hit to right field, and that gives the Rays a 1-0 lead early on, and then he gets allowed to pop to third for the third out. So BABIP to death once again. The Franco single was at 67.2 miles per hour, but 20 pitches, 3 hits. They get a run, and they jump to the bottom of the second, top of the second. First pitch to Chris Taylor. He homers to center to tie things up at 1. Sinker hard of the plate, and he punished it. His 8th home run of the year for Chris Taylor. He hit 10 all of last year, so he's already much more productive this season. And then next batter, Max Muncie, he crushes a home run to right, curveball inside corner, just kind of leaked towards the heart of the plate. That gave the Dodgers the 2-1 lead. And then Miguel Vargas, he draws a 6-pitch walk. Then Miguel Rojas, he singles to give the Dodgers runners on first and second. And Trace Thompson with runners on first and second. He entered the day on an 0 for 39 slump. Then on a 1-1 count, he singles to center to score Miguel Vargas to make it 3-1 Dodgers. So Trace Thompson, you have to feel good about that. I hate losing more than I like winning, but still, when you consider the fact that Trace Thompson couldn't hit a piñata blindfolded, for him to get a hit early on does a lot for his confidence. Wasn't trying to do too much. Gets his bat on the ball, takes advantage, and that put the Dodgers up 3-1. Next batter, Austin Barnes, he grounds into a fielder's choice for the first out there at first. And then here's what we're talking about. Mookie Betts not coming through today, has come through for most of the season. But in this situation, you have runners on the corner, and Betts, he grounds into a double play to end the inning for the third out. So Dodgers get 3 runs on 4 hits there in the second inning. Back-to-back solo bombs from Chris Taylor, then Max Muncie, and then the Trace Thompson RBI single. So you're really feeling good about that early lead. But let's jump back into the comments, and we'll continue to break this one down. A wild game in Tampa Bay, and as much as it hurts to lose 2 out of 3 games to the best team in baseball on the road, I still feel good about what happened in the 2020 World Series. I still remember Julio Urias freezing Willy Adames on a 97-mile-per-hour heater and him just electrifying on the mound and going crazy. So that's what I have to remind myself of today. We got more people got a block. We got here we go. The block straight. He's awesome. We got Jamie Lannister. Stone sucks. Jamie Lannister. Do you guys think Stone sucks? I still think he has talent. I think he has potential, but it does feel like it's a little premature as far as him getting an opportunity at this stage with his lack of fastball command, with his inability to finish off hitters, and the fact that that third pitch he just doesn't have confidence in. He is not attacking the zone with the ferocity, with the fervor that you need to at this level. And you see him, he's trying to land that changeup at the bottom of the zone, get hitters to chase, and trying to live low and live long. But at some point, you have to challenge hitters on the edges and up in the zone. And when he's doing that, he's leaving stuff out over the the heart of the plate. And teams like the Rays, like the Braves, like the Phillies, they are going to take advantage of that. At this level, doesn't matter if you're the worst team in the bigs, you're going to take advantage of that. And teams are doing just that. So there's a learning curve, like Dave Roberts said. He just has to fight through this. And I think ultimately this is going to be good for him because he had dominated at the minor league level, a 1.48 ERA, Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year, the best, highest ranked changeup in the game. Well, now he knows that, yeah, it's nice to have that changeup, but he's not going to have a long big league career unless he has fastball command and a legitimate third pitch to keep hitters off balance. So that's just the reality of the situation, the cold, hard truth. We got Go Dodgers from Bruce Heckert over on Facebook. Stone equal Billy Ashley or something. We got ShamWow 2013. The stolen bases the Dodgers have allowed is a huge concern. 73 stolen bases, next team being 20 away. They need to figure that out. Going to come back to bite them, especially in the playoffs. Yeah, ShamWow 2013. I don't know how long you've been watching the show. I'm assuming since the very beginning, but I've been harping on that every single game it happens. To me, it's the little things in baseball. To me, it's the fact that stolen bases are up. I mean, you're looking at a stolen base success rate at almost 80% this season. You're looking at teams having almost 2 stolen base attempts per game. And it's almost like, did the Dodgers not get the memo? Did the Dodgers not see the rule changes? Did the Dodgers not get a briefing from Rob Manfred and realize that there are pizza boxes out there on the bases that are larger, that realize there are only 2 disengagements from the pitchers? Because these Dodgers pitchers, they are not doing enough to hold runners, and you can't put this on the catchers. Yes, Austin Barnes doesn't have the best arm, but still, this is not on the catchers. This is on the pitchers. The pitcher's delivery to the plate is too slow. They're not changing their cadence. You're not seeing them use side steps, and the reality is, opposing teams, especially that have speed like the Rays, they're taking their lunch money. They're doing it again, again, again. And it's not that it's just leading to stolen base statistics or anything like that. No, they're cashing in. These are leading to runs. We saw it during Friday's game. It was the same thing. And you saw the Dodgers 9-3 loss. They stole 4 bases. Walls stole second on Syndergaard. That led to a run. Franco, he stole second on Brule. That led to a run. Today, Rayleigh, he steals second. Lau stole second. In the 4th, he scored on the grounder to first. Siri stole third. And, yeah, I mean, there were multiple instances today where it came back to bite them, and you have to correct that. To me, it almost seems like you're not taking it seriously. You're not realizing that this is when a bullpen is struggling, when a pitching unit is struggling, you look at how are teams continuing to score runs. Well, one, yeah, the pitching hasn't been good, but still, if you're not at least cleaning that up as far as the base stealing, you're setting yourself up for disaster. That's the recipe for disaster. But, jump to the bottom of the second inning. This really was the problem inning. This really was the deciding inning of the game. We're going to hit that right now, but first, let's go back into the comments section. I'm still looking for that Dodger dog of the game. Which Dodger had the most dog today? Doesn't mean it's a player of the game, but I'm going with Chris Taylor.
Dodger dog of the game.
But let me know. Same people hating on Stone are going to be the same people hopping on the bandwagon when he does good. That's from Trace Outman, season 2023. Yeah, he's not a lost cause. Yeah, he is definitely someone that, look, Clayton Kershaw, he had his struggles in his first season. I mean, before he found his slider later in his career, I mean, rookie pitchers are going to struggle. That's the nature of Major League Baseball. I mean, everyone talks about how difficult it is to hit major league pitching. Well, guess what? It's also very difficult to get out big league hitters, and that is the task that he is facing. And yeah, he's going to get better, and he definitely is going to put in that work. And really, like I said, it's just about fastball command. It's about working that change of the way it tunnels. I mean, he's just a work in progress at this point. And fortunately, he was thrusted into a situation because of the injuries to Michael Grove, because of the injuries to Ryan Pepio. Then Julio Urias goes down. Dustin May goes down. I mean, I think ideally you would have seen him make his debut at some point in the middle or towards the end of the summertime, but necessity is the mother of invention. They didn't have very many options, and they had to turn to Stone. They had to leave no stone unturned, and they had to use him as an option, and the same thing goes with Bobby Miller. So yeah, I mean, it's a christening by fire, and yeah, he's learning how difficult it is. I'm waiting to see him face a marginal lineup, some middle of the pack lineup at home, and really get a comfortable start to just try to build that confidence. Because I think one of his big issues is he's not attacking that zone, like I said earlier. And if he does that with confidence, that's going to open things up, because the way he tunnels that changeup doesn't even need a lot of ride and run on it. It's the way it falls off the table, the way he tunnels it from his fastball. So once the fastball command is established, you're going to see the changeup start to have the effect that it has had at the minor league level. So I would not write him off yet at all. Strider, hear you, 120. Crazy game, D-Mac. Sucks we lost. W right now, starting pitching, needs to step up and give bullpen a break, and it sucks we had to lose Muncie due to hamstring. I hope it's not serious. I don't anticipate it being very serious at all. I mean, you're talking about a cramp. You're talking about a guy that he is going to be just fine. He's looking a lot better at the plate. So, yeah, I would not worry about Max Muncie at all. You definitely always have to have concern when guys go down, but the fact that they didn't say it was a strain, the fact that you don't hear a grade 1 or grade 2 strain or anything like that, you have to feel okay about it. I think the fact they're saying it was a cramp, that's pretty much the best case scenario. Feels more precautionary than anything, but I will say, when you look at the game he had yesterday, when you look at the home run he hit today, when you consider that Outman replaced him in the lineup, it goes 0-for-3 with 3 strikeouts. Had Muncie been in the game and didn't have to go out, maybe they do score even more than 10 runs. So, yeah, I mean, definitely missed him out there. We got 50 Cal 213. Stone has 4 months till the playoffs. I like the way you look at that. It's a fire take. Anytime you see the fire emojis, you're going to get the fire take. We got to, I feel like Gavin needs to go back to the minors, work on his pitching. He just isn't ready. Metalhead Diecast over on YouTube. Yeah, what are you guys seeing from Gavin Stone? What are you noticing from him? We got Chris Green. I was just at this game. While it was a ton of fun, we were outclassed. First game for my eldest son. Shout out to Emerson. We got Troy Heyman. It's Miller time at Dodger Stadium tomorrow. Our tough road trip is over. Let's dominate and get hot. Yeah, I mean, if I told you heading into this road trip that you're going to be without Dustin May, you're going to be without Julio Urias after his start against the Cardinals, where he had 4 home runs in 1 inning. First time by a Dodger pitcher since Ben Wade, 1954. If I told you that Clayton Kershaw, of course, he was on the bereavement list dealing with the passing of his mother and him not being at 100%, it feels like right now on the mound. If I told you that those 3 guys plus Tony Gonsolin still trying to truly work his way back, and he had some solid outings, had some walks here and there, but still he looked pretty good. And then with how bad Noah Syndergaard, who's been a flat-out bust, and by the way, I told you that, yeah, probably was going to be a disappointment this season. I was pretty much the only person that was saying that, and that's because nothing really told me that he was going to get that velocity back, and he's a pitcher that relies on velocity to be effective. Well, hey, maybe you do take 4 and 6 on the road, considering the competition and the fact that you walk away from that, and you're still in first place in the NL West, and you have the best record in the National League. Locked on Rams from Mr. Moves X2. Yes, shout out to the Ramley out there. Roy Estrada, D-Mac, block row. Okay, I'll block him. Yeah, guys, it's a place for you guys. Is your stream. I'm the man of the fan. Is your show. I'm just hosting it, so I have no problem doing that. Always let me know what's going down in the comments, guys. Let me know what's going down in the comments, because I can't always police it at all times, so I really rely on you guys for that. But thanks for rocking with us, guys. We got the stolen bases the Dodgers have allowed is huge concern. Yeah, we read that one. 73. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the most in the league by a large margin. And like I said, it's continuing to hurt this team. Sonny Gray is a good pull from Trace Outman's season. He's looked really good this year. We've talked about Sonny Gray as an option in the past. I'm sure we will in the future if he is available. But that Twins team's looking really good. 4 and 6 on the road trip is terrible from Wilfredo Cordova over on Facebook. Replace Stone with Grove. That's from Roy Estrada. Yeah, I think you hit that one on the head. I think you hit that nail on the head right there. I think you're on the money with that one, Roy Estrada. I think that that's most likely what they're going to be doing. And I think at this point, you really have to feel fine with that. Because, yeah, Grove was hitting 97. I mean, he's in his last start, so he was definitely looking the part. And I think for him, it's just a matter of being healthy. But Yeah, so let's jump back into this one. So bottom of the second inning, got to break this one down. So Siri tripled to center on a ball that bounced over Chris Taylor's head. Tough play for Chris Taylor on that field turf. Hits the leadoff triple. The next batter, Luke Raley, 2-2 count. 7th pitch of the at-bat. He doubles to right to score Siri to make it 3-2 Rays. The next batter, Mejia, he strikes him out with a changeup at the bottom of the zone for the first out. The next batter, 1-0 to Diaz. He lines to left for the second out. So 2 outs there and a 3-2 lead for the Rays. You're thinking, okay, Stone can escape this and give the Dodgers at least 5 innings, but then he gives up the single to Wander Franco and that ties things up at 3. Raley scores on the play, and then he ends up getting all the way to second. And right there, hanging slider, middle of the zone, and that's the pitch that he needs to find a way to be more effective with. The next batter, 7th pitch of the at-bat to Brandon Lau. He singles to right to score Franco to make it 4-3 Rays. And then Lau advances to second on the play. The fastball just kind of had some cut to it. He puts a good swing on it. And the next batter, first pitch to Ramirez. He reaches on an infield single. Then Lau advances to second. The next batter, Paredes, with runners on first and second, he doubled to center to score Ramirez and Lau to make it 6-3 Rays. Had 2 strikes on him, just left a 95-mile-per-hour fastball middle. Probably his worst pitch of the day when you consider the situation, when you consider the location. And another example, 2 strikes right there, 2 outs, just can't get out of the inning, and that is what he needs to do to get over the hump. Execute pitches, make pitches with 2 strikes. Then with Lau on first with 2 outs, Stone strikes out Siri on 3 pitches, gets him swinging with the slider up and away for the 3rd out. So that second inning is where it all fell apart for Gavin Stone. And really this Dodgers pitching in this one, Rays get 6 runs on 7 hits. They bat around 37 pitches for Stone in that inning, just not executing pitches. Then top of the 3rd, 2-0 pitch, Freddie Freeman gets a leadoff double to center on a sinker, hard of the plate. His major league leading 21st double for Freddie Freeman. He extends his hitting streak to 17 games. And the next batter, JD Martinez, 2-1 count. He singled to left to score Freddie to make it 7-4 Rays. Dodgers pull within 3. Then next batter, Chris Taylor, first pitch. He singles to left on a changeup to give the Dodgers runners on first and second with no outs. And the next pitch, 1-1 pitch to Max Muncie. He hits a bouncer at his second. And Lau, he makes a lousy throw there. Wild throw, ends up in left field. And Martinez, he comes all the way around to score to make it 7-5 Rays. Dodgers pull within 2. Taylor was safe at second on a throwing error by Lau. And then he makes it all the way to 3rd, so he advanced to 3rd on the play. Looks like he just kind of rushed the throw a little bit on that fielder's choice, was trying to get the double play there, and the Dodgers take advantage, and that's where Muncie came up limp going into second base. So he was making his way to second base, pulls up limp, and that's when he left the game with that left hamstring cramp after he eventually would score in this inning. So next batter, Miguel Vargas, 1-1 pitch. He had a sac fly to center, and that made it 7-6. Dodgers pull within 1. And then 0-2 pitch to Rojas. He had a sac fly to score Muncie to make it 7-7. And the next batter, Trace Thompson, he gets a 2-out single to left. And then Austin Barnes, he flies to center. So the Dodgers get 4 runs on 4 hits and an error and respond by tying it up to 7-7. And it cannot be overstated how big that was for Trace Thompson to have a good game. He entered the day, like I said, on an 0-for-39 slump. That was the longest hitless streak by a non-Dodgers pitcher in 114 years. That is how bad that streak was. I mean, we're talking Chris Davis territory. So got his first hit there and really had himself a really, really nice day. First hit since April 17th. And then jumping to the bottom of the 3rd inning, Phil Bickford, he replaces Stone. He falls behind 3-0 in the count. Then on the 3-2 pitch, he walks Raley, fastball in, and then Raley, he steals second. So we're talking about the stolen bases. That's what you guys are talking about down below in the comment section. That continues to be a problem. And then he strikes out Mejia, swinging with the slider for the first out. And then 0-1 to Diaz. He singles to left to score Raley. And there you go. You're getting burned by a leadoff walk and a stolen base. Comes back to bite them. That gives the Rays an 8-7 lead at that point. And he comes back to strike out Franco. Nice pitch there. 4-seam fastball up in the zone. And then Lau, he strikes out swinging on a slider. So the Rays get 1 run on 1 hit and capitalize on that leadoff walk and the stolen base. That puts them back on top. And then you jump to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ramirez, Bigford strikes out Ramirez swinging for the first out, and then 1-1 to Paredes. He homers to left to make it 9-7 Rays, and that pitch, slider, just stayed up, cement mixer, a mistake pitch right there. That gives the Rays the lead, increase a little. The Rays leads from 9-7, so 2-run lead for the Rays there. And then Lowe, he singles to left, and then Lau, he steals second, and then Siri walked, and Lowe stole third. It was called out originally, but they reviewed it. The oven mitt got into the glove, and he was ruled safe after the review. And 3-2 pitch to Rayleigh. He grounded to first to score him from third. That made it 10-7 Rays. And by the way, did you guys catch this? And before we go on to this breakdown, did you guys catch the broadcaster saying they should have done a pitch out on a 3-2 pitch? Please tell me you saw that, because I spit out my coffee right there. I could not believe it. CT3 is our dog of the game. That's from Joe Mama. We got D. Crack needs to block these people. I've been blocking a good amount, but let me know if you see more, guys. We got to This Isn't Football, No Turf. That's from BC. Yeah, field turf is terrible. I don't know if you guys saw the HBO Real Sports piece on it. Leads to injuries, and some of these bounces are ridiculous. Trace Outman season 2023. I agree with you on that. Bobby Miller is ready. Stone needs to cook a little more. Just throw him back in that microwave. Keep hitting that 30 seconds thing. By the way, it's the only button I've ever pushed on a microwave. It's the 30 seconds, 30 seconds. I've never done the actual numbers. Have you guys? Or I'd use any of the functions. Just 30 seconds. Keep going. Dave Roberts, a.k.a. Stoneface, needs to get a clue on the stolen bases. They need to have a team meeting. That needs to be the only topic during a team meeting. Is you need to light them up on that. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to name names of who I've talked to within the organization, but I have, and they've told me that this is something that hasn't been a high enough priority on their list when it comes to teaching their pitchers and working on the fundamentals of it, and it definitely needs to be changed. And as someone brought up earlier, before the playoffs begin, because can you imagine if that's a problem in the postseason? You're losing games because of stolen bases. That's definitely not going to bode well, because this bullpen just isn't good enough. They're not talented enough. By the way, credit to Yency Almonte. He struck out the side today. I think Victor Gonzalez did all right. Justin Brull, he did the best he could, but still, this bullpen as a whole, save for Evan Phillips, really, they're not good enough to get away with stuff like that. I mean, when's the last time you saw a clean inning from Bruce Dog Gratterall? I mean, Heat over Nuggets in 6. Okay. Hey, man, there you go. There you still believe in. Cancun, we got to rather have Gavin Newsom pitch than instead of Gavin Stone. Okay. We got to let Trace get hot again against the Nats. Trace, like I said, I felt good. I felt happy for you, man. I know that you've been wishing that. I'm glad you didn't delete your Trace MVP meme, okay? So you can use that again, I'm hoping. We got Dodgers could have won if Taylor could tag. Yeah, Steve Elliott, I mean, that's definitely that tag right there. I agree with you. I wouldn't pin this loss on him. Anytime your starting pitcher gets roughed up like that, you still scored 10 runs, and a lot of those 10 runs were because of Chris Taylor, who goes back-to-back and hits 2 home runs today, had 2 walks. He was a big part of the offense. But still, I think on that play, you do want to see more of a swipe tag close to the base instead of trying to get him for the chest, because you know that with those oven mitts and with the way guys are getting their gloves in, and that was a great point by Oral Hershiser during the broadcast, that in a decade ago, you'd probably see them be called out, and they, of course, are not going to review it. But now, in today's day and age, when you can review like that, it's going to be tough to get guys out if you're making that swipe like that. But, yeah, I mean, the pitching woes are the issue. I mean, the pitching woes are the reason why the Dodgers aren't getting it done. And if you look at the last 2 weeks, last 13 games, the bullpen has thrown 61 in the third innings. The starters, 53 in the third innings. That is not going to get it done. You need more production from your starting pitchers, okay? They need to step up in a big way. If you look at this blame pie right now, that to me is who I'm giving the biggest slice of. And shout out to the Kamenetsky brothers for that one. I mean, that's the biggest slice. Goes to the Dodgers right there. But, yeah, let's go to the top of the 5th inning. And, yeah, we talked about the 4th inning there. Yeah, they get 2 runs on those 2 hits and the 2 stolen bases. And then, yeah, top of the 5th inning, a 2-1 to Thompson. He homers to center for the Dodgers' 3rd home run of the day to pull the Dodgers within 2 at 10-8. Sinker, outer half, got the barrel on it. And I think that's a big key for him, is if they're not going to crowd him on the inner half, if he can just get his bat out there, get the ball in the fat part of the bat, he's going to do damage. And that's what he did last season. And hopefully he can continue to get some opportunities opportunities and punish some mistakes. I mean, I'm trying to say it's Sunday. I'm trying to be positive about it. I'm hoping that he can ride this momentum into a nice little stretch, because I'll be honest with you, I thought it was OVER for Trace Thompson. I thought the Dodgers were going to be without a Trace very soon, but it looks like he bought himself at least another month. But Strider, hear you. D-Mac for Walker Buehler. I'd rather let Walker come back next season, but if he's 100% confident he'll be fine in September, then bring him back. Yeah, I think that definitely is the plan. Definitely is the plan. But next, so sixth inning, top of the sixth, 3-1 pitch to JD Martinez. He hits a solo shot to left. And just a great piece of hitting for JD Martinez, who continues to be hot. JD Martinez, when you look at extra base hits, when you look at the slug, if you look at the isolated power, it's more than double what it was last season. He hits his 10th home run of the year, and that pulls the Dodgers within 1 at 10-9. And the next batter, Chris Taylor, 1-0 pitch. He crushes a bomb to left, his 9th of the year. That ties it up at 10. Second time the Dodgers went back-to-back on the day. And, yeah, then James Outman, he follows that up. He strikes out swinging, and they couldn't get anything else going there in the 6th inning. But, yeah, Chris Taylor, very aggressive early in counts, taking advantage of changeups, taking advantage of off-speed pitches, and they get 2 runs on 2 hits, those 2 home runs, and they tie it at 10. Then we jump to the bottom of, the top of the 7th. They had some opportunities that they didn't cash in on. Vargas, he struck out swinging, fastball, middle. Rojas, he was safe after that error by Siri in center. He ends up at second with 1 out. And then Trace Thompson, he draws a 4-pitch walk. Austin Barnes, he strikes out swinging for the 2nd out. And then Mookie, he lines it short for the 3rd out. So Dodgers just couldn't cash in on the error and the walk. And Mookie, not his best day. Like I said, he's come through all year, but today just wasn't one of those days. Over 2 with runners in scoring position, and they proved very costly. I mean, those were big opportunities that could have really blown this game wide open, and maybe the Dodgers escape with a win, or it's looking like a football score out there. But really, the loss comes down to bottom of the 7th. Luke Raley, he reached on an infield single, and we talked about this earlier in the show. Freddie Freeman, he gets the ground ball. Probably could have charged it. Probably could have beaten Raley to the bag. Victor Gonzalez probably could have gotten to first base a little sooner. Just not a well-executed play all along. I mean, all around, you could have had Victor Gonzalez make it there quicker. You could have had Freddie Freeman charge it and just execute the play. Just not a great play by that Dodgers defense as a whole. And he reaches, and after that, Doc goes to Brusdar, and Brusdar, he gets Mejia to pop out for the 1st out, and then Diaz, he singles to right. And then after that, Franco grounded to second to score Raley to make it 11-10. So that goes to the 2nd out, but they get the lead there. They take the lead at 11-10, and that was all they needed. After that, Lau reached on an infield single to 3rd. Not a great play by Taylor, but still it goes as a hit. And then Brusdar, he strikes out Ramirez on 3 pitches for the 3rd out. So like I was saying earlier, you want to see some clean innings from Brusdar. And I always say about Brusdar, if you're going to be a guy that pounds the zone, if you're going to be a guy that does throw strikes, but pitches to contact every now and then, even though you're throwing 98, 99, 100 miles per hour, it's going to find grass and you're going to give up hits, and bad things are going to happen even if you're not giving up hits at times. So there's an example right there, but Rays take the lead, and then bottom of the 7th, and then really that's pretty much the game right there. Dodgers kind of went quietly in this one after that, but still Dodgers, they lose by a final score of 11-10. Guys, we broke this whole game down. My big takeaways, my final thoughts here. 1, Gavin Stone isn't quite ready. Got to throw him back into that microwave. Got to let him develop a little more. Has to improve that fastball command. Has to improve that slider. Has to be more effective even with the changeup at this level. So yeah, that's my big takeaway is Stone, little rocky. And I think he's going to be a rock for this rotation at some point, but he still has a lot of work to do. 2, Trace Thompson, he breaks out in a big way, breaks that 0-for-39 slump. That was the worst slump for a Dodgers position player in 114 years. He had a 3-hit day today, had a walk, so you're feeling good about that. 3 hits and the bomb. And then the stolen bases, we've talked about that ad nauseum today. That has an issue that needs to be corrected. They are stealing the Dodgers' lunch money. Opposing teams do not respect Dodgers pitchers on the mound, save for probably Clayton Kershaw. But it was an issue this entire series. It was an issue Friday against Noah Syndergaard, who's one of the worst in the history of the world at holding runners. And it was an issue today. And Then also for Max Muncie, 2 good games by Max Muncie. He did leave with a hamstring cramp. Hopefully it's not an issue. Hopefully he'll be fine. And then Chris Taylor, very aggressive too. My other big takeaway, had a big game. And also James Outman, he definitely is, either it's mental, either it's adjustments. He is not looking good. A 3 strikeout game today. And then talked about the ones earlier. This team, from a pitching standpoint, starting pitching, you need more length. You need them to go deeper into games, and it's just not where it needs to be right now. They need to get healthy, but that's going to do it. A couple more takeaways from you guys, a couple more comments. Let me know down below, and we're going to let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and your Labor Day weekend. But yeah, no, Emar, Thor has been Thorific. Let's just be honest with it. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. And my job is to be truthful to you guys. But I will say he's like this year's Craig Kimbrell in that, yeah, he's not been very effective. He's given up a lot of runs, but still, he did give you 6 innings, and you have to give him credit for that. The fact that he did give you 6 innings, even though it wasn't a loss, didn't tax that bullpen as much as it could have been. Still in first place from Roy Estrada. Get that. Dodgers have the runs. LOL. We got Muncie. We got the Stone got turned into gravel. That's from Tyna Johnson. We got not microwave. You mean the oven? Nah, microwave. I want him to heat up fast. The oven, that's gonna take me too long. Okay, I want Stone to look. I mean, if guys are gonna continue to be injured. And we saw Michael Grove. He wasn't great when he was in. I still have faith in him, but Pepio is still a ways away. I want to see Stone really turn things around. But here we go. La Primavera. We got. But that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Last one. Thor needs a buzz. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if he did that. Just, go full buzz cut, Thor. But thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember, win, lose, or draw, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger baseball.